Harry Kane has done it again, saving England from the absolute brink of disaster and proving exactly why he wears the captain's armband when the pressure reaches a boiling point. For 90 minutes, millions of fans held their breath as England stared into the abyss, facing an agonizingly early exit that would have triggered a national footballing crisis. The tension in the stadium was so thick you could cut it with a knife, and for a large part of this match, it genuinely looked like the critics were going to be proven right. The tactical setup seemed sluggish, the body language looked heavy, and the opposition was exploiting every single gap left open in the English defense. Every pass backward felt like a tick closer to a historic disappointment, and the collective anxiety of an entire nation was weighing down on 11 players who seemed completely stuck. But write England off at your own peril, because when everything is on the line, football has a funny way of delivering the ultimate drama. Just when the social media meltdown was reaching its peak and the post-match obituaries for England's campaign were already being written, the narrative completely flipped. What we witnessed was not just a victory, it was a psychological warfare won in the dying moments, a masterclass in resilience, and a tactical shift that will be talked about for the rest of the tournament. To truly understand how massive this comeback is, we have to look at how close England actually came to the edge of the cliff. The first half was nothing short of a tactical nightmare, with the opposition suffocating England's midfield and completely cutting off the supply lines to the front three. Every time Harry Kane dropped deep to find the ball, he was swarmed by defenders, leaving the wings isolated and the attack completely toothless. The frustration on the pitch was visible, with players throwing their arms up in the air and the manager pacing the technical area, frantically shouting instructions that seemed to get lost in the deafening roar of the crowd. When the opposition scored, it felt like a deserved punishment for a performance that lacked urgency, creativity, and passion. The stadium erupted, and for a moment, the English players looked completely broken, staring at the grass as if searching for answers that simply weren't there. Heading into the halftime break down a goal, the atmosphere in the dressing room must have been incredibly tense, with the reality of an embarrassing exit staring them right in the face. Everyone watching at home was demanding changes, demanding a spark, and wondering if this squad actually had the mental toughness to fight their way back into the tournament. But great teams are defined by how they respond to adversity, and whatever was said behind closed doors during those 15 minutes changed everything. England emerged for the second half looking like a completely different beast, playing with a directness and aggression that had been totally missing in the opening period. The tactical adjustments were subtle but incredibly effective, pushing the fullbacks much higher up the pitch to stretch the opposition defense and creating the space that England's creative players desperately needed. Suddenly, the passing was crisper, the movement was sharper, and the opposition found themselves pinned back in their own penalty box, completely unable to cope with the sudden shift in intensity. You could feel the momentum swinging like a pendulum, and the crowd could sense that a breakthrough was coming if England could just find that one moment of clinical quality. The pressure was building like a pressure cooker, with wave after wave of white shirts pouring forward, forcing desperate clearances and last-ditch tackles from a defense that was beginning to crack under the strain. It was no longer a question of if England would create a clear-cut chance, but rather who would be the one to step up and take it when the moment arrived. And that is exactly when Harry Kane decided to remind the entire world why he is considered one of the greatest strikers of his generation. For his first goal, it was all about world-class anticipation and pure striker's instinct, reading the flight of the ball before anyone else in the box even reacted. As the cross came whipping in from the right flank, Kane ghosted past his marker with a subtle movement, finding the exact pocket of space needed to guide the ball past the despairing dive of the goalkeeper. The explosion of joy in the stadium was unbelievable, a collective release of pure relief and ecstasy that ignited the fans and injected a massive surge of adrenaline into the players. But Kane wasn't done yet, and with the match hanging in the balance and the threat of extra time looming, he delivered the definitive knockout blow. The second goal was a masterpiece of composure under extreme duress, picking up the ball in a crowded area, shifting his weight to create half a yard of space, and unleashing a ruthless finish that left the keeper with absolutely no chance. 2 goals of the highest order, completely turning the match on its head and turning a potential disaster into an unforgettable night of celebration. This comeback is a massive statement of intent to the rest of the tournament, proving that England possesses the mental fortitude to survive the toughest of situations. It is easy to win when everything is going perfectly, but the true mark of champions is the ability to find a way to win when you are playing poorly and everything seems stacked against you. The tactical flexibility shown in the second half proves that this squad can adapt on the fly, fixing their mistakes and punishing opponents the moment they show a single sign of weakness. Harry Kane's performance will silence the doubters who questioned his form, proving that he remains the absolute heartbeat of this team when the stakes are at their highest. Now, with a spot in the last 16 officially secured, the entire dynamic of England's tournament changes completely, as momentum is a dangerous thing in knockout football. They will head into the next round with a massive boost of confidence, knowing they can stare defeat in the face and come out victorious on the other side. The road ahead is only going to get tougher, and the competition will get fiercer, but this emotional roller coaster of a match might just be the catalyst that sparks a legendary run. If you enjoyed this deep dive into England's dramatic victory and Harry Kane's incredible heroism, make sure to smash that like button right now to show your support. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on all notifications so you never miss any of our breaking football analysis and tactical breakdowns throughout the tournament. I want to hear from all of you in the comments section below, so let me know how far you think England can actually go in this tournament and whether Harry Kane can lead them all the way to glory. Thank you so much for watching, keep believing in the team, and I will see you all in the very next video.